offering my most respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of His Divine Grace Guru Pada Padma, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Deva Goswami Pad, humbly praying that His Divine Grace, His Divine Mercy be bestowed upon me, be bestowed upon all of you. Thereafter, I offer my most respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of all their divine graces. Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Thakur. Om Vishnupad, Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji Maharaj. Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Dvaita Madhava Goswami Maharaj Ji. Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Prabhupada Keshav Maharaj Ji. And all the other Rupanuga Guru Varga, all the Guru Varga, humbly praying that their divine grace, mercy be bestowed upon me, upon all of you. As next, I offer my most respectful prostrated obeisance unto the lotus feet of His Divine Grace, our Param Guru Pada Padma Param Hamsa Kulo Mukutamani, Anantasya Vibhushita Acharya Bhaskar Jagat Guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada. With all humility, praying for His Divine Grace, Divine Mercy be bestowed upon me and all of you. All glories to all our Guru Bhargava, all Vaishnava Vrinda, all the assembled devotees, all glories to this Krishna Sankirtana, ecstatic Krishna Sankirtana. The nature of Krishna Katha, Hari Katha, simply infinite. The mundane ocean has got limit. But the ocean of Harikatha, Radha Krishna Katha, has no limit. There is no beginning, there is no end. So, whatever beginning and end we do, it's all relative. Relative. Okay. Anywhere I can start. Everywhere it can begin from its beginningless nature. Somehow it can end by its endless nature, merging to the limitlessness. So sometimes I'm thinking around which topic I should, innumerable topics, aspects of beautiful divine Radha Krishna consciousness, Mahaprabhu consciousness. I have to think of which topics should I begin to reflect on, describe. Spontaneously, some topic is coming in my mind. About how Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Srila Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Thakur, met each other many times. I have been the great eyewitness and heart witness to have darshan of their get-together, divine get-together, several times in my life. I had the immense fortune to be seeing, to be having darshan of both their divine graces together in Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Matha Navadvip. More than 6 times there. And then lastly, during the occasion of the inauguration of Mayapur Chandadai temple. That is when both the exalted God brothers shared their Vyasasana, the famously known photo sharing the same Vyasasana. That is one and only spiritually historical photograph. Cannot find any other. Both the exalted God brothers, beloved God brothers, were sharing same Vyasasana together during the occasion of Mayapur Chandodaya inauguration. Occasion of inauguration of Mayapur Chandodaya temple. So I also went there. I also was there as a personal servitor, personal attendant and personal servitor of Srila Guru Maharaj there. Srila Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, Govinda Maharaj, Govinda Goswami Maharaj, myself, Guru Maharaj, all went from Navadvip Chaitanya Saraswat Math. You know, a very beautiful fact. So these are all little memories, but invaluable, priceless gems. So Guru Maharaj was late because at that time there was no Gauranga Setu bridge built over the Ganga river, Navadvip. So we had to go through the Swarupganj, going across the Ganga through Swarupganj and then going around through Krishnanagar, Dhubulia and then coming to Mayapur. There's no straight ferry service during that time. So one of my other great, glorious Shiksha Gurupada Padma, His Divine Grace, so Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he sent his car. I think Bhavananda Maharaj was driving. Once I remember Achyutananda who was driving to Guru Maharaj, another time Bhavananda Maharaj. So, sent his car across the Ganga to receive Guru Maharaj from Chaitanya Saraswat Math Navadvip. So at some point, car came and so Guru Maharaj departed for Mayapur. It was a little late. So there in ISKCON, the Mayapur Chandodaya temple, Srila Swami Prabhupada ji was waiting. So Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj ji waiting to receive Guru Maharaj. And I was thinking, okay, he's getting late. During that time, there was no so much mobile phone conversation that they could always contact from the car where we are. So he was waiting to be receiving Sridhar Maharaj, then going to take bath. But then at some point he thought, okay, since he is late, maybe let me quickly take bath and then after that, by the time he'll reach, so I will receive him. As he was preparing for taking bath. So he got ready for taking bath after rubbing mustard oil and all. He used to take message of mustard oil before taking bath. So as he was preparing for that, right at that moment, he heard Sridhar Maharaj reached. Sridhar Maharaj reached. See, to our great, happy, amazing feelings, in other words, to our great surprise. So as he heard Sridhar Maharaj reached, at that time he was just wearing a towel, bare body, just only a towel, going to take bath. Okay, bare body with mustard oil. In that form he came. In that way, surrounded by his disciples, chanting, he just came to receive his very dear Sridhar Maharaj, dearmost Sridhar Maharaj, to the gate. He came with the Sankirtana. See Gurudev there, bodied, just wearing a towel, Bengali towel, some mustard oil. Sadhu, Abodhuta way. Came to receive Srila Guru Maharaj. Srila Guru Maharaj was so surprised, joyfully surprised to see in that way, and he respected that. Thereby he was setting, Srila Swami Prabhupada was setting a great example of not wasting any time or making any Vaishnava wait when came. So setting the great example of receiving immediately. Vaishnava came, whatever way, whatever position you are, just somehow manage and receive the Vaishnava respectfully, honorably. So, as an exalted Acharya, as a great, most exalted Vaishnava Acharya, so Swami Prabhupada was setting that example of how to be receiving a sadhu, a pure sadhu, his dear God brother, a pure Vaishnava Acharya, how to receive. So without waiting for any time, so in that way, just in that position, he was about to take bath in this very position, he just came to the gate, received his dear Sridhar Maharaj, the Sankirtana, and then he said, Maharaj, let me go to take bath. Guru Maharaj said, yes, please, please. Okay. I saw that my own eyes. Exchanges between two exalted, beloved God brothers, so many times. So then he went to take bath. So the Guru Maharaj was taken to, I think, first floor of the Lotus building, or second floor, where his quarter. You remember, so Swami Prabhupada's quarter on the first floor of the Lotus building. It was still building, so not completely, it was not complete, so most probably first floor, the ground floor, first floor. So Srila Guru Maharaj, he was given accommodation in a room very close by the room of Srila Swami Maharaj, my beloved Siksha Guru, Srila Swami Prabhupada ji, close by. And then, several times, Guru Maharaj came to his room and had so much beautiful conversation. Remember that at some point, Srila Swami Prabhupada ji, he just came to Guru Maharaj's room and just lovingly invited to his room. Guru Maharaj came, and then I remember, and it was very nice arrangement for sitting and all, talking about the Lotus building in Mayapur Chandrodaya temple, during the occasion of inauguration festival, Mayapur Chandrodaya temple. So this was taken after the all function was over. He called Sridhar Maharaj, invited him to his room, and both of them were sitting together in a sofa. There was also arrangement of the Indian way on the floor with mattress, white mattress with white color, all white color, Indian style. There's some sofa and all, also Indian style arrangement, sitting on the ground. Both of them were sitting, and Srila Swami Prabhupada ji was showing Sridhar Maharaj through a projector machine. Began to show Sridhar Maharaj on a projector machine in those days. Not so many big computers or TV on those. It was not available at that time in Mayapur Chandrodaya temple. It was still just developing. So on a projector machine, he started showing the Guru Maharaj about his preaching program, worldwide propagation programs, how the books being printed. I think many of you have seen that in a documentary program created by ISKCON, how books got printed, coming out, getting uploaded in big trucks and going market, and the book distribution going on. How Brihat Midanga activity, book publication activity and book distribution activities are going on. Different countries or different parts of the world, they made a documentary film. So Swami Prabhupada was joyfully showing Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj was so pleased. Guru Maharaj was looking at the face of Guru Maharaj. He was so joyfully appreciating. So appreciating all this with so much pleasure. Seeing books getting printed and published and being uploaded to truck and then going to market, and so many of his disciples, devotees engaged in book distributions. Both the God brothers were relishing, sharing so much happiness to see the documentary film, a book distribution activity. And then they spontaneously started speaking to each other about other spiritual topics. I'm not going into details. At that time, you see, sometimes you see the photos in the internet. Srila Swami Prabhupada garlanding Guru Maharaj. Okay, Guru Maharaj sitting on the sofa. He's garlanding Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj is paying returning obeisance, returning pranam to him. He's trying to hold Guru Maharaj's hand. No, you don't need to pay pranam to me. Vaishnava way, in a humility way. Another photograph, I love to see that, kindling my sweet memories, that so Guru Maharaj garlanding Swami Prabhupada. Moment. Guru Maharaj garlanding Swami Prabhupada. It took place at the same moment, during the same time. First, I think Swami Prabhupada garlanded Guru Maharaj. They exchanged pranam to each other, and then Guru Maharaj stood up and also, in reciprocation, in return, he also garlanded Swami Prabhupada, all photographed. Then I remember, you saw the photo, all the God brothers sitting in a row to taking prasad together. So, from the left side, Swami Prabhupada, then Guru Maharaj, then another God brother, I forget the name, Kinchan Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, taking prasad on the baranda of the Lotus building. God. So, very joyful moments, mutually joyful moments among those stalwart, exalted, beloved God brothers. So what happened around the Vyasasana, because in those days still, his disciples was getting trained. So what happened? Okay, during that ceremony, during that function, what happened? They only prepared one Vyasasana. Disciples, they did not really know there's another God brother of equal position. So two Vyasasana needed to be prepared. So their disciples are so good-hearted, very enthusiastic, very good-hearted, very devoted. They prepared one Vyasasana for their Guru. Then after paying obeisance to the deities, as you see in the video, okay, yes. So Swami Prabhupada ji went forward to sit, take his asana. He found only one asana. What to do? He cannot allow Sridhar Maharaj to sit on an ordinary asana. There was only one Vyasasana. So then he took him by hand, took Guru Maharaj by hand, and just took him to share the same Vyasasana. That's how it happened. That's later on. Before that, prior to that, when even Mayapur Chandadai temple, did not even come into existence, I mean physical way. So I came in contact with both their divine graces, even from that time, much earlier, when Mayapur, the temple land, the land for the Mayapur Chandrodaya temple was not yet bought. Okay, not yet bought. So much earlier days. Naturally, whenever Srila Swami Prabhupada would have come, would be coming to Navadvip Mayapur. So sometimes he would be staying in Mayapur, he would be staying in Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math, because at that time there's no ISKCON temple. So sometimes he would be staying in Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math, Srila Madhav Goswami Math's temple. When he comes across the Ganga, he came across the Ganga river, and he mostly stayed, he stayed for a while in Devananda Gauriya Math, Pujyapat Keshav Goswami Maharaj's temple. But he mostly stayed in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, Sridhar Maharaj's temple, mostly and often, for longer time. He would be so lovingly sheltered in the temple of Srila Guru Maharaj, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, Navadvip. So much, very early days, because I joined, because I came in contact with Srila Guru Maharaj from my practically babyhood. Since the time I did not remember anything, I just heard stories from my parents. So naturally, anyway, since I was born in a devotee's family, so when my parents came to see their Guru, I would also come. I would have come with my parents. Also to see, to darshan, having darshan of my parents' Gurudev. At that time, Sridhar Maharaj was not officially my Guru yet. Okay, I was not yet officially initiated. But he was already my parents' Guru. My parents and my both sides grandparents' Guru. Maternal and paternal sides grandparents' Guru. So naturally, I used to be coming with my parents, devotee parents, to have darshana of Srila Guru Maharaj. Very young days. So I could even remember 68, 67, 68. The years, around the year 67, 68, when Srila Swami Prabhupada first coming to India, came with disciples. Around that, 60, 68, 69. I have to exactly remember the year, but he came with many. Actually, I remember he sent some of his disciples ahead. I think before came or after he came, I don't remember, because I was not always, in my childhood, not always staying in Chaitanya Saraswat Math. I was living in parents' house also. But when I used to come with my parents, my mother used to be staying for months, because my maternal grandparents' house was right inside the area of Chaitanya Saraswat Math. Being one of Guru Maharaj's disciples, Guru Maharaj wanted him to settle around Chaitanya Saraswat Math, so that he could receive some help from his disciples whenever he needed. He could receive some help, service in the earlier days. So naturally, my mother used to be staying in her father's house, for months, and then I was also privileged to be staying with my mother in my maternal grandparents' house. So I got the chance, even during the 68, 67, 68, when his disciples came after his first successful mission, after Srila Swami Prabhupada's first successful mission in preaching in the West. So many disciples came for the first time. I could remember they came at the time. Natya Mandir was not still built. Natya Mandir of Chaitanya Saraswat was not still built. They all sat on the main deity's temple, engaged in Sankirtana. I remember, they were playing the tape recorder, recorded Sankirtana sung by Srila Swami Prabhupada. After he was singing, then all the disciples were singing. Okay, first, he was not present. I could remember Bhavananda Swami, then Hamsadutta, Achyutananda Ramanuja Sutta Kirti. I could remember the first time. All this.
Could you tell us something about your Guru Maharaj's personality?
I've come to that point. Anyway, so Srila Swami Prabhupada, I will come to your point. Srila Swami Prabhupada ji would be happily accommodated in the big building with all his disciples. With all his disciples. He used to be staying for many days in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. During those days, whenever he would be coming, before ISKCON temple manifested. And then, so I have got the sweet memories of both the divine personalities having get together in the top of, in Srila Guru Maharaj, in the premises of Guru Maharaj Bhajan Kutir upstairs, would be absorbed in Krishna Katha, Hari Katha for hours, for days. His disciples, Guru Maharaj's disciples, all of us would be sitting surrounding both the divine personalities, both the exalted devotees would be listening to their Hari Katha, mutual exchanges of Hari Katha. Sometimes the Guru Maharaj would be speaking, he would be hearing and appreciating, and in response, Srila Swami Prabhupada would be speaking, would be commenting and speaking, and Guru Maharaj would be appreciating to hear from him. So, mutual joyful exchanges, reciprocation of the Krishna Katha, Radha Krishna Katha, flowed between them for hours.
Do you remember any of the Katha? Do you remember any of the Katha that you heard from them?
I do.
Can we please hear?
So which one should I reflect? You asked me about what's the Guru Maharaj's personality. Okay, so of course, so exalted devotees, pure devotees' personality also reflects through, also manifests through Krishna Katha, their loving reciprocations, mutual reciprocative Hari Kathas. I do remember, on one occasion. See, they would be speaking in Bengali, sometimes in English, but mostly in Bengali. You have heard the tapes, recordings. Bengali is their mother language, native language. So I could remember several topics, several verses. On one occasion, when both of them were absorbed, engaged in relishing some specific verses from Bhagavad Gita. See, in the beginning, they exchanged about their well-beings. In the beginning, when Srila Swami Prabhupada Guru Maharaj together, they met each other. They naturally asked about each other's bhajana kushal, position of bhajana life, how things are flowing. After paying pranam to each other, exchanging pranam to each other as they sat on their seats. So, normal way, some Krishna Katha came up. Naturally, in the first fold, how his preaching activities going on, how Srila Swami Prabhupada's preaching activities going on all over the world, that topics would have come up, would come, and Srila Swami Prabhupada would happily respond to Guru Maharaj's query. Guru Maharaj would be very appreciative. Okay, before going into the explanation of Hari Katha, let me reflect on this, let me narrate this. Very sweet memory. As Srila Swami Prabhupada, his dear Swami Maharaj, would start explaining about how beautifully, wonderfully his preaching activity is going on all over the world. His propagation of the holy names of Krishna, Krishna consciousness going on in different parts of the world, and very successfully. So Guru Maharaj would be so appreciative, be expressing so much joy as if his joy knew no bound, and telling him, this is what our Srila Prabhupada wanted, and you are fulfilling the desire of our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. They would not call always Srila Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada. It's a natural way, Srila Prabhupada. So, Maharaj, you are really fulfilling the desire of my Guru Maharaj, our Srila Prabhupada. You are so blessed. You are so blessed. Oh, you are the embodiment of the fulfillment of the desire of Srila Saraswati Thakur, our Prabhupada, in this aspect that he wanted Krishna consciousness to be spread to every nook and corner of the world, all over. That was as a great desire and prediction of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and also great desire of our Guru Maharaj. And you have fulfilled that. You are fulfilling that. So, in other words, that desire of our Guru Maharaj is now getting fulfilled by you. You have been accepted in this specific service, although he had other stalwart disciples. Okay, during his time he had other stalwart disciples, but I feel he has specifically accepted you, embraced you for this service, and you have been so successful. By his blessings, I know how much Srila Prabhupada would be pleased, how Srila Prabhupada would be so happy, so pleased with this. Guru Maharaj would be full of appreciation about him. And at some point he also remarked, his empowered incarnation of Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, Nityananda Prabhu. Baladeva Nityananda, empowered incarnation of Baladeva Nityananda, Srila Prabhupada. This way Guru Maharaj remarked. And so anyway, back to the point. Relating to the point that you said, asked how the topics of Harikatha, I remember, for one day, they, on that particular occasion, at some point, they began to speak about certain verses, specific verses on Bhagavad Gita. Those specific verses are Opiche Suduracharu Bhajati Mam Anannabhak Sadhureva Samantabha Sammabhavusito Hisa Kshiprang Bhavati Dharmatma Shashat Shantim Nigachati Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhakta Pranashati. Other time, Machittamad Prana Bodhayanta Parashparam Kathayantascha Mang Nityam Tushanti Cha Ramanti Cha Tesang Shatata Juktanang Bhajatang Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tang Yena Mam Upayanti Te Tesameva Anukampartham Maham Agyana Jamatama Nashayam Mahatma Bhavastu Gyanadipena Bhashata. Both the God brothers are absorbed in discussing, releasing these three verses. Apart from Opiche Sudha, that is a different phase. This one in another phase. And they began to release so much. They began to release so much with exchanges, their joyful exchanges. You know, this is one of the most essential verses, most famous and essential verses of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. from Dashamodhyaya, 10th chapter.
9th chapter.
9th chapter?
9th chapter.
9th. I see.
10th is Vibhuti Yoga.
I see. From 9th chapter, maybe 9th verse or 10th verse could be.
Which one?
34. 934.
934. Machitta madgata prana, that one. Okay, whatever. It's from Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
Machitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayanta chamam
It's 9th chapter.
Okay, so is one of the most beautiful essential verses of Srimad Bhagavad Gita promoting the Shuddha Krishna Bhakti.
No, it's 10. 10,
Prana.
10 9.
Chapter 10, yes.
Oh.
Chapter 10.
Oh, Apichet Sujaratura is
That is
9.
not, yes. So, is one of the most wonderful essential
It's a very
verses
beautiful verse.
promoting Krishna Bhakti, pure Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema. So see, there are a few verses here and there in Bhagavad Gita, not only in Dadashodhyaya, 12th chapter, but also in other chapters which directly promoting Krishna Bhakti. So, Guru Maharaj started. He was reciprocating. So Guru Maharaj was not actually discussing with us, the disciples sitting surrounding. He was actually discussing everything with Srila Swami Prabhupada. This whole thing was taking place, exchanges was taking place between them, and we are an audience that way. Hardly they were looking at us with the disciples sitting surrounding. Hardly they were looking at our face. They were only looking at each other when discussion going on, and time to time casting some glance to us, towards us. So I remember Guru Maharaj started to recite Machitta madhgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam shanti cha ramanti cha. I'm not going into the whole explanation of the whole verse, but concentrating on which point they started releasing a great way. See, the meaning of the verse so is that being totally dedicated to me, absorbed. She's taking care of other things. Pujarini Devi, I would like your presence here. Pujarini Devi. Missing your presence here. You asked me, so when I'm answering, if you are missing, then I am also missing. Because this is presented by you. Very nice query, beautiful query. So, the precise meaning of the verse, when absorbed in my loving devotion, when my devotee becomes mind, heart and soul of my devotee becomes totally one. One with me, absorbed in my loving devotion. In other words, it can be explained in translated different ways. Machitta madgata prana bodhayanta paraspam. Machitta means one's heart filled with me, filled with my consciousness, machitta. Having those devotees with their heart filled with my devotional thoughts, my devotional feelings. In other words, those devotees filled with my divine consciousness about my thoughts and feelings, Matchitta Madgata Prana, becoming fully absorbed in me, in my consciousness, with all mind, heart and soul, then being situated in that position, being absorbed in conversation, nectarian conversation about me, bodhayanta parasparam, being absorbed, completely absorbed in nectarian glorification, in the nectarian narrations and mutual conversation, reciprocations about my glories. I repeat, being absorbed in narration of my nectarian glories in a reciprocative way, bodhayanta parasparam, through reciprocation, mutual reciprocations. Kathayantascha mang nittam tushanti cha ramanti cha. They are taking so much pleasure, so much ecstasy to be absorbed in speaking about me, narrating my glories with so much loving devotion, kathayantascha mang nittam, right? Forever, not temporarily. Okay, like they are absorbed, they remain absorbed in narrating my glories, relishing my topics forever, on and on. Mang nittam, kathayantascha mang nittam, endlessly, boundlessly. They are staying absorbed in relishing, speaking, discussing, narrating my glories, all nectarian topics of mine, for hours, endlessly, with endless, boundless eagerness, enthusiasm, hankering. I'm explaining, it's not just a literal translation, explaining the mood. In this way, kathayantascha mang nittam. Then, as a result, they are receiving so much pleasure, so much nectarian bliss, ecstasy. They are receiving so much of my nectarian bliss and pleasure, ecstasy. I'm talking in my English. Anyway, you can understand. So, tushanti cha ramanti cha. So as a result of their deep absorption, wholehearted, sublime absorption in discussing and relishing my topics, my leelas about me, with full heart filled with loving devotion, their heart filled with loving devotion. Then, as a result, they are receiving so much divine ecstasy, divine bliss of mind. And at every step, at every level of their absorption of discussing about me, I repeat, at every level of their absorption of discussing about me, singing my glories, relishing my glories, nama, rupa, guna, lila, parikara, vaishishta, all these characters of mine, that of my holy name, fame, divine form, qualities, rupa, guna, parikara, vaishishta, my relationship, divine, ecstatic love relationship along with my beloved associates, parikara, vaishishta. So while they're absorbed in discussing, relishing all these, then as a result they begin to receive inexplicably blissful nectar, inexplicably ecstatic love taste, ecstatic taste of love of mind. Starts receiving nectarian bliss of mind, the divine bliss, the taste of ecstatic love of mind, tushanticha, which have what actually at every step, every level, bringing to their heart and soul boundless satisfaction, tushanticha, bringing boundless, endless satisfaction, and ramanticha, with the reception, with the receiving of boundless, endless satisfaction, meaning happiness, bliss. It reached to such point, it reached up to such level, it reaches up to such higher level that it brings the pleasure of ramanticha, that quality. You know, ramanticha means it's the super excellent level of the ecstatic love of Krishna Radhika. It's no ordinary bhakti, no common satisfaction or common happiness or blissfulness received from ordinary level of Krishna bhakti. But ramanticha, in the braja mood, madhurja rasa mood, finally it means that so there such type of their absorption, wholehearted absorption in speaking and discussing, narrating my glories, really, my topics, finally they immediately begin to satisfy their heart, inundate their heart with so much divine satisfaction and happiness. Then it finally culminates. Sometimes it culminates into such ecstatic love of Krishna Radhika that simply inexplicable, unaccountable. I repeat, at some point it just simply culminates, that satisfaction and great happiness, devotional happiness, ultimately culminates in the platform level of ramanticha, the ecstatic love of Krishna in the madhurja rasa mood. And that point exclusively, particularly exclusively, especially that point, both the God brothers started relishing so much. Tushanticha, ramanticha. And they are discussing to each other. Who says that in Srimad Bhagavad Gita there is no trace of madhurja rasa? There is no trace, there is no reflection, not even any hidden manifestation of the highest level of Krishna prema. Who says that? It is there in a hidden way. And that's the reason Srila Guru Maharaj entitled his Bhagavad Gita as Hidden Treasure of the Sweet Absolute. Hidden treasure of the Sweet Absolute. Meaning the highest wealth, the super excellent, ambrosial treasure of Krishna prema, wealth of Krishna prema, all the priceless, highest treasure of Krishna prema, also found in Srimad Bhagavad Gita in a very hidden way. Very hidden, very special way, rare, special but hidden way. This is one of the verses. Both the God brothers were relishing, exchanging. So Guru Maharaj was explaining to him, and Srila Swami Prabhupada was relishing like anything, agreeing with that. Yes, Maharaj, it is. Yes. Not only Tushanticha, but then thereafter Ramanticha. Ramantica means they are feeling great happiness, they are receiving a great ecstasy, great experience of bliss, blissful satisfaction in the mood of Ramantica Madhurja Rasa, of the Braja. First of all, Tushanticha, their heart, mind-heart became greatly satisfied with great happiness about the topics of Krishna from the discussion to Shanticha. Then, by its nature, it culminated. It continued developing and finally culminating in the Madhurja Rasa mood, Ramanticha, Braja Rasa mood. Here we find the Braja Prem, Braja Krishna Prem, hidden away in Bhagavad Gita through the term Ramanticha. And both the God brothers are relishing it so much. Yes, it is. Then after that, Ramantushanticha Ramant, then Teshang Satata Yuktanam, next verse. Teshang Satata Yuktanam Bhajatang Pritipur Gopmakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tang Yenamam Pujantite. Then, the simple meaning, many of you know about the meaning, general meaning of this verse. Teshang Satata Yuktanam Bhajatang Pritipurvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tang Yenamam Pujantite. After this verse, following after this, Machitta Madgatapra. Then Guru Maharaj raised a question. He was beautifully, wonderfully raising a question before Srila Swami Prabhupada, saying, how can it be like this? See, already that devotee who has been mentioned, described in the verse just prior to this, already achieved the state of Tushanticha and Ramanticha. Then thereafter, why Lord Krishna again saying, Teshang Satata Yuktanam, again, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam.
Yes.
Is it still remaining to be attained, Buddhi Yoga level? Why? Good question. Now, Guru Maharaj was explaining, remember. See? So in this way, he explained in this way, that Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatang Pritipurvakam, after attaining that state, that level of the ecstatic love of Krishna, after attaining the experience of that high level of the ecstatic love of Krishna, Ramanticha, then they naturally continue. They cannot live their life without that nectar, without nectarian experience, taste, once they received through their absorption of the Sankirtan, of the glorification, narration of the glories of Lord, tasting Leela. So, then what happens? Naturally, they cannot but be continuing with the bhajana, tesham satata yukta. Then thereafter, once they receive that nectarian taste of Krishna prema, taste of the ecstatic love of Krishna, thereafter they cannot live their life without that. So, satata yukta hoye, so they become very committed with so much determination and devotional commitments, they continue. Satata yuktanam. Satata yukta means thereafter with full determinations and hankering, thereby thereafter they continue. What they are continuing? Bhajatam priti purvakam. Then they continue the life of their wholehearted, loving devotional worships, adoration of mind. Wholehearted, loving adoration of mind. Devotional, loving devotional adorations.
Maharaj, what does it mean then in this context when in this verse you say Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam because
Coming,
He's
coming.
coming to that.
okay.
He's coming to that.
It's a whole world.
So you have to come to Priti Purkam. Bhajatam Priti Purvakam.
I'm only there, then coming is the next. So, they continue. They cannot but be continuing with my loving devotional, with the life of my loving devotional worships. Ecstatic love worships. Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. Priti Purvakam means with loving adoration. Ecstatic loving adoration. So, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. Indeed, thus, they, with so much hankering, they continue and continue to be living a life full of loving devotional adoration of mine. Priti Purvakam. Then, next line coming. And this is this very significant one, and that's what Guru Maharaj was discussing, releasing with his exalted God brother. After that, what Krishna is going to give further intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yeno mam upayantite. What is that? Then Guru Maharaj coming back explaining, it's not that Krishna is meaning that he is going to give some, he is going to just simply give some ordinary type or high class type of some spiritual philosophical intelligence to that devotee. He is not talking about this intelligence. We have to understand.
Because often it's understood like this.
No,
right?
he's not talking about giving the intelligence of some common knowledge or common wisdom. What intelligence? Exactly. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Then after that, thereafter, I give him, I'm going to bless him with this such type of intelligence, highest. It's not intelligence. Buddhi yoga means, literally it is translated as intelligence, but actually it is a realization, experience, that topmost super excellent consciousness, realization, Buddhi yoga. So I am going to bless him with the topmost ambrosial realization, ambrosial knowledge, experience, realization. Buddhi yogam tam. How? For what? Yeno mam upajantite. So that that devotee can receive me, can attain me in the highest parokiya mood of the Braja Gopis. Upajantite means Krishna is hinting, upagato means parokiya way. Very intimate. I should not be discussing of it, but it is very intimate, very high topic. So, because they already attained some taste, ambrosial taste of the Madhurja Rasa, Tushanti cha Ramanti cha, the level which is already described. And thereafter Lord Krishna is furthering that. Krishna is helping that devotee to promote that further, to blossom further, higher than that, even more excellent. Okay? So it is like Krishna is very mercifully helping that devotee, blessing that devotee to be continuing further, higher, go deeper, helping to blossom it further, to be into full bloom. And finally, Ramanticha means finally, even blossoming to that, blossoming full-fledged, even to that super excellent extent of limitless character in parokiya mode, in the transcendental parokiya mode of the Braja Gopis, where we find the festival of left wing love ecstatic love of Krishna, Brahma Bhava. Talks in both right wing, left wing. So, that's what Srila Guru Maharaj was explaining, and Srila Swami Prabhupada was appreciating so much. He was saying, yes, it is, Maharaj, the way, reciprocating. And then he also commented. He also started commenting, agreeing with Guru Maharaj. Yes, Tushanti cha ramanti cha. Then they have to, Dadami buddhi yogam, to what buddhi yoga? After this, only highest type of buddhi yoga means experience. It's no intelligence, no intellectual type of intelligence.
Does that also refer to the realization of one's own Swarup?
Experience. Intelligence based with experience, deepest, highest experience.
Yeah, it will be there.
Buddhi yoga.
It will be there.
Because buddhi also,
It is
see,
realization.
Sanskrit terms have manifolded meanings at the same time.
Yeah.
The very nature of the Sanskrit words
Yeah.
can be, can be combining multiple folded, multiple meanings. It's possible.
And
So buddhi, in higher sense, buddhi means normal is intelligence, but buddhi in higher sense means also higher consciousness and experience. Bodha. You can understand. Understand means you can experience. Otherwise, how can you understand
Yes.
without experience? So understanding through experience, that is also high class buddhi yoga. Here, that quality of buddhi yoga being explained by Krishna. No giving philosophical or highly intellectual philosophical intelligence on that
very
stage.
interesting, because the verses starts with Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo.
Matta
Matra
sarvam
sarva
pravartate
pravartate.
imatva
Imatva
bhajante
bhajante
mam
mam buddha
bhava
bhava samannita.
samannita. Buddha bhava samannita. Again,
Yeah.
what is that bhava?
Yeah.
No ordinary bhava. Not even madhyamadhikar. It's uttamadhikaro bhava. Buddha bhava samannita. Yes, please.
Which verse was that? Last one? Which verse number?
Tesham sadada yukta.
Which one you are asking?
I think
have
10,
talked to you.
The last
These are
one?
actually the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita
Chatushloki, yes.
verses, right?
Yes, Chatushloki Gita. 10, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Aham sarvasya prabhavu matta sarvam pravartate.
That's 10, 8.
Yes.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay.
Chapter 10.
Aham sarvasya prabhavu matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajanti imam buddha bhava samannita. The Buddha bhava samannita can be translated in ordinary common way. Also, Buddha bhava samannita can also be understood in a higher sense, much higher sense. Bhava means Braja bhava, Vrindavana bhava of Krishna. So all are interrelated. See, all these verses are flowing. There is some underlying. There's some underlying flow of the same Siddhanta, like in a garland.
Yes.
Okay, all these verses, chain system. So we can find some deeper interconnection. We can find common, in a general way of interconnection, general type of interconnection, interrelationship. Also deeper kind of interconnections, underlying flow.
So it's like that, no
On
man.
the surface, it looks like in one way, meaning as soon as you scratch, you dig on the surface. Dig on the surface, go deeper. Oh, you can find nectarian stream flowing, like Phalgu Nadi, underlying flow. Yeah, what you are asking?
No, I was just thinking, because in that 10:8 he says, Iti matva bhajante mam. So one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me.
Yes.
Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. So at that point, I mean, another connection just came was, I think in the Chaitanya Charitamrita it says, Sthavar jangam dekhe na dekhe tar murti sarvatra hoy tar ishtadeva smrti. So this and this is coming together.
Yes.
So it is already, that is the stage of the Uttamadhikari, which is here, and then the beautiful explanation that you've given of the following verses. So it's a Beautiful connection. Yes.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mang buddha bhava samannita. See, similar type of verses, parallel kind of verses also described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Let me remember that verse.
Ishwaritad adhineshu.
That verse. Last verse. Ishwaritad adhineshu balisheshu dishatshuta prema maiti kripo peksha yak karati samadhama. Then sarva bhuteshu yak pashed. Last culminating verse. Describing the state of Uttamadhikar, Mahabhagavad. Sarva bhuteshu yak pashed bhagavat bhava matmana bhutani bhagavat tatman nesha bhagavato uttama. Kanishthadikar, Madhyamadikar, Uttamadikar. The three verses describing that. So, interrelated meanings. One complementing the others, not complementing. One verse is the expansion of other verse. As we go to see, as we go to see in a more intrinsic manner, esoteric manner, then we see all interrelated. One is the expansion of other. Sarva bhuteshu yah pashed. See, here also.
Yes.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravat iti matva bhajante. Here there, sarva bhuteshu yah pashed bhagavad bhavam atmano bhutani bhagavat atman esha bhagavatattam. He sees not only he sees everything in me, but also he sees even me, everything. Okay, he sees everything in me and he sees me in himself. Everything.
Yeah.
So, that is the platform of Mahabhagavata vision. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. It can only be experienced, such reality that everything is being conducted, directed by me, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. That I am the Supreme Lord, I am the final, ultimate master, Supreme Lord and owner of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. Everything is running under my influence, by my influence and energy. Prabhava means also not only Supreme Lord, but also everything is being run by my power and energy, influence of energy. Prabhava matta sarvam pravartate. Everything is being directed, everything being introduced, presented, maintained, sustained, nurtured by me. Matta sarvam pravartate. One who can understand this, one who can realize about this absolute truth, absolute, self-evidently absolute truth. Iti matva bhajante mang. Iti matva bhajante mang. With such absolute realization about me, holistic, full-fledged realization about me and my activities. Iti matva, one who worships me accordingly, adores me, worships me accordingly with such knowledge of mine, with such realization about me, who I am. That all-pervading, supreme, all-pervading, absolute, divine truth. All-pervading, all-encompassing, holistic, absolute, divine truth, personified as me.
Wow.
Look into me, understand who I am. So when, with such realization about mine, about my identity, in limitlessness, boundlessness, iti matva, then bhajante ma, then also worship me accordingly. Their worship also becomes befitting to such realization. No ordinary worshipping stays there. Worship becomes deep to deeper, high to higher, highest. from deep to deep, deeper to deepest level. It reaches the standard quality. So it becomes prema at that time. It's no ordinary bhakti. Itimatta bhajante mam. With super excellent quality of loving devotion. How to say? Loving devotion of super excellent ecstatic quality. Bhajante mam. Bhajante means bhajante mam. Dudha bhava samannita. Becomes fulfills. The more absorbed, the more engages in that bhajana, that quality of bhajana, the more and more becomes engaged and absorbed, overwhelmed with that quality, highest quality of my bhajana, that of highest ecstatic loving devotion. He or she also becomes bhava samannita in return, as a result of that. The devotee simply becomes fulfilled and fulfilled and fulfilled, unendingly fulfilled with super nectarian ambrosial. I am finding words, cannot be described through words. Super excellent, super ecstatic ambrosial love of mind.
Wow.
Bhava samannita.
Samannita.
Krishna prema level. Because it's Mahabhagavata platform. So bhava has to be befitting to that standard. No neophyte devotion. No neophyte level or even medium level, middle level of devotion there. Top level. Top to super top, super excellent level of the devotional love, loving devotion, ecstatic loving devotion, bhajana.
Such a beautiful explanation.
And see, in that verse of Bhagavad, Srimad Bhagavatam, there are so many interrelated verses. Viddhati hridaya granthi, chiddanti sarva samsaya, kshiyanti chasya karmani, moi dishti akhilat mani, or moi dishti parabare. Both ways is described.
Which one
See?
was that?
It is also
From Srimad
Yeah,
Bhagavatam.
this is Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Number?
I don't remember.
Number, I can
Find
tell you
out.
later.
You can find out.
I think it's first chapter, second canto.
So, last line is very important. Mai dishti akhilat mani. Cannot live his life, cannot live his or her life without feelings of mine, without my consciousness, without my feelings, or in a precise way, without me. Simply cannot, on that state, cannot live his or her life without me, without feeling about me, without my consciousness, without my love ecstasy, ecstatic love. Mani dishti akhilat mani. So much so, he starts living his whole, on that platform, he starts living his life so much so with me, all the time with me, that he sees me everywhere. He sees me, feels me, smells me, experiences me, tastes me everywhere in everything. Cannot see or feel or experience anything without me. Becomes so filled with me, my ecstatic devotional consciousness, becomes so dedicated, becomes so much dedicated and devoted to me, to the limitlessness. He cannot but see me, feel me, realize me everywhere. Nothing but me. Nothing but me. Cannot live his life separately from me. Cannot live his life without me. It is impossible. on that state of the highest ambrosial fulfillment. So therefore, Moi Drishti Akhilatmani is seeing, feeling, tasting, relishing my presence, deeply tasting my presence everywhere, in everything, in and out, without, outside him, inside him. He cannot experience of himself without me. He became so dedicated to the utmost, to the great love surrender. He has been so dedicated, so devoted. It happens. The Mahabhagavata level. Yes, please.
So which level would be talking to me? Talking to God.
Which-
Level would, on which level you reach the level to have a conversation? Like we have conversation right now. So experience tasting sounds all good, but when is the talking to me? Is that somewhere specific mentioned?
See, when we're just discussing, explaining, narrating about this very high divine reality, high divine topics, no doubt that we are being connected. We are somehow or other mystically, wonderfully, amazingly, mystically getting connected to that Mahabhagavata level of that truth. Although we are not yet situated on that plane of the Mahabhagavata vision, Mahabhagavata plane of realization. But we can definitely, right now, we are definitely receiving some connection, a glimpse, some kind of connection, okay, maybe in a glimpse form of that same quality. Although we are not yet situated on that high level, although we have not really attained that, but still, by some great fortune, because of the nature of Satang Prasangan Mama Virja Sangavido, because of the nature of the Hari Katha, Krishna Katha, because of the power, some divine power and mood of the Krishna Katha, no doubt we are receiving some glimpse of that Mahabhagavata Bhava, although we are receiving it more through our, according to our capacity, through our level of experience and realization, good experience and realization, according to our capacity. But still we are receiving something, we cannot deny that.
Let me rephrase. On which level you have a daily conversation with God? Is it mentioned somewhere in Shastra that...
I see. That was a pinpoint question. I was explaining in different sense whether we are connecting to that Mahabhagavata level or not right now through this conversation. I was answering to that aspect.
No.
Okay.
Yes, good.
Yeah. See, why for some reason or other, I felt inspired to answer that way. Some connection is there. Mystical way. Lord inspiring me to answer that way. Because sometimes, let me complete this way. Then I will come to your point, exact point. So sometimes what happens, although through our intelligence and through our higher consciousness and higher sensitivity, we can also have some glimpse or connection of the ecstatic taste, higher ecstatic taste of love of Krishna. You can receive some glimpse, and it is described as most blessed fortune. Srila Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu described, if we rarely, to our highest fortune whatever it happens, we are receiving, even for a moment we are receiving some taste, even a particle, a drop, small, tiny particle of the world of the Krishna Prema in our life. I repeat, Kaviraj Goswami would describe, if it so happens, out of our greatest fortune, invaluable fortune, at certain most blessed moments, invaluable, priceless moments happening, all of a sudden, some highest ambrosial taste of Krishna Prema appearing in our life, even for a moment, in a glimpse way. We should be wholeheartedly trying to embrace that moment. Embrace it wholeheartedly. Don't let it go. Okay, because it is such treasure, invaluable, priceless. It came just now, it will withdraw. You cannot do all right reserve. You cannot have it like all right reserve to it. It comes down on its own sweet will, on its own grace. It descends, reveals. It reveals itself. Okay, mercifully descends on its own sweet will, and it can withdraw immediately. But whenever you receive such moments on the path of your life of devotion, sadhana, simply be embracing wholeheartedly those moments and be worshipping, adoring, lovingly adore, engage in adoring those moments. Kabe hobe bolo sedino amar. Okay. So sometimes while we are engaged in such type of Harikatha, such quality Harikatha, Krishna Katha, we receive some connection mystically, wonderfully. We cannot deny it. Just as I am tasting now, I know you are tasting. You are all having some taste. If some of us, not so casual, okay, in this assembly, really relating to, connecting to what we are now discussing, cannot but have some beautiful taste, cannot but some divine taste, maybe little, maybe a particle, but cannot deny some happiness, special happiness, appreciation, happiness. Anyway, now coming to answering your point. On what level? Yes, from the high, how to say it? Medium, higher. On the higher medium or medium higher level of the qualification we call Madhyama Adhikar. Okay. How do you say? Primary, middle, okay. Medium higher level of the Madhyama Adhikar, it starts. Then it goes up to the Uttama Adhikar. So high class, from the platform of high class Madhyama Adhikar, not primary platform of the Madhyama Adhikar. Okay. You know, how do you translate in English Madhyama Adhikar? Mediate?
Mediate.
Intermediate.
Medium level.
Intermediate.
Intermediate.
Kind of. But we do not often find, see, it's sometimes very difficult to find the appropriate, truly appropriate word in English. Here is not just intermediate, but here Madhyama, see, Kanishta Madhyam, Uttam Madhyam, there are different divisions. Madhyam Uttam, there are different divisions. Anyway, so literally it is like from higher Madhyama Adhikar level, higher intermediary level of loving devotion, prema, to the highest level of the intermediary stage, and then it goes higher. So that is the state it begins, talking with God. Speaking with God, or if not straightly speaking in a limited mundane way, or like with a limited mundane concept of speaking, because speaking with God doesn't always necessarily mean speaking with voice, speaking with some articulations or utterance of language. It can be heart-to-heart speaking, silent speaking through the bhava. You realize everything, but apparently it is silent, without apparent sounds or any articulation or utterance. So, meaning communicating. In other words, communicating with the Supreme God. It starts happening with high class Madhyamadhikar level, the highest, and then, of course, it becomes more self-evident on the Uttamadhikar level. And that communication with the Supreme God takes place in various ways, variegated, beautiful, wonderful ways, mystically wonderful ways. Through sound form, through silence only through the bhava, through sound sometimes. We find Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Bangsi Das Babaji Maharaj, they would be engaged in speaking with Gaur Nitai and others.
Yes.
They would be speaking.
Yes.
When other person came, they would be amazed. They would think, oh, what? Ordinary person would not understand, would think, oh, some eccentric, half-mad person. Ordinary, the common people of the society would think, oh, he is great devotee, but he has some. But the high class, highly intelligent people, wise people could recognize now Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Bangsi Das Babaji were now actually engaged in conversing with Gaur Nitai, with the Ishtadeva. We could only hear his aspect, we could not hear the other side of the reciprocation, how Gaur Nitai was talking. Once it so happened, I heard from Srila Guru Maharaj, once it so happened, our Param Gurudev Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada went to see Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Okay. One day, he just simply went to have darshan of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj and found him completely absorbed, overwhelmed in mood, overwhelmed in Krishna Prema, devotional mood, and without any external sense. And I heard from Guru Maharaj. Thus I heard from Srila Guru Maharaj, the way he heard from his Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada. O Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, তুমি আমায় দয়া করবে না, আমাকে দয়া করতেই হবে। O Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes, O Krishna Chaitanya Dev, তুমি আমায় দয়া করবে না, দয়া করতেই হবে, in Bengali. O Lord Krishna Chaitanya, O my beloved Lord Krishna Chaitanya, you are not being sufficiently merciful to me. You are not being benevolently merciful to me. You have to bless me more with your mercy. That's the English translation. Oh my beloved Lord Krishna Chaitanya Dev, so long you are not being sufficiently merciful to me. I feel it's not adequate. You have to bestow your more mercy on me. It's not enough. But the way I'm feeling your mercy in my life, it's not enough. You have to be more merciful, more compassionate, more merciful on me. Why are you becoming miser? Okay, please. And he was crying. He was crying and just repeating the same prayer with loving complaint, or loving hankering, loving petition. How do you say? With that great loving petition with all humility. With all humility and crying, incessantly crying and repeating. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada waited before him for a while. Then he understood he had something urgent service responsibility to attend. So he waited for like around half an hour. No end of that. Continuing, he paid. With reverence, he paid his full obeisance, and he had to go to take care of other service. And he requested his Shevaka, beloved, his personal attendant, please be, if you need anything for Babaji Maharaj, tell me. There should be no shortcomings, there should be no lacking in taking care, in serving Babaji Maharaj. You are here. He went away. So then Srila Prabhupada said to Guru, I don't know when it started, hours going on. When it started and when it's going to end, I didn't know. Hours absorbed in divine mode. So it is an example of reciprocation, continued communication. Okay. So such reciprocation takes place in the form of sound, through silence. Sometimes silence becomes more than eloquence. Okay, silently eloquent way. Okay, through their bhava, it's a transaction of the inner world. Inner world through bhava. So that's how the communication takes place between high class Madhyamadhikari and also Mahabhagavata Uttamadhikari. So whatever way they receive inspiration and communication from the divine is very meaningful and realistic. Therefore it is stated, when we receive some order, we receive some direction from a Sadguru level, we have to accept it. It's coming from the Supreme Lord in our life. We should accept and honor it, embrace it as the direction, that direction, inspiration actually coming directly from the Supreme Lord, relating to me through his exalted devotee, a Sadguru. This is applied to only Sadguru, exalted pure devotees, not common type of devotees. So, because whatever way they feel inspired, because they are so dedicated, so devoted to the Supreme Absolute Divine, beloved Lord, so dedicated, so devoted, whatever inspiration they receive is a revelation. Whatever way they feel, they think, feel and be willing, whatever way, in whatever way, whatever manner, to whatever extent, in whatever quality they receive any inspiration from their heart in relation to divine couple, Mahaprabhu, it cannot but be reality. The mystical divine reality. In other words, whatever way a pure devotee, pure exalted devotee have thoughts, thinking, willing, feelings, whatever way feeling inspired to engage in the loving service of the Supreme Absolute Divine for himself, also to inspire others, engage others in the devotional service, okay, must be understood is directly coming from the divine plane. And mystically, the mystical, wonderful reality, that of transcendental character, that of transcendental nature. Therefore, whenever we receive any direction, any inspiration from the pure devotees, exalted devotees in my life, we must carry it out. We must carry it out according to our capacity, abilities. It always brings very high fortune, always brings higher good, highest fortune in life. Because they receive through revelation, it descends. Revelations. Why this revelation happened? Because of their devotion, pure devotion. They don't remain separate. Although they remain separate as individual being, but still they are so connected. They remain connected. So they receive, things descend through them, revealed through them. In the language of Guru Maharaj, revealed truth means super subjective reality. He described in a philosophical term. We have concepts of objective realities, that of objective experience, and higher subjective, level of higher subjective experience. He said objective reality, that of objective experience, I repeat, the level of objective experience, the level of subjective experience, and also the realm, the plane of super subjective experience. Meaning divine. Super subjective experience, transcendental, divine experience. Descending through, revealing through the transparent via media, who is purely devoted. Uttamadhikari, devotees. Revelation. Okay. Any other question? Any more question related to this topic or unrelated?
And the singing, of course. Because I had once very felt emotional experience when Damodar was singing in Mayapur. The Samadhi inauguration of Bhagavad.
Oh, very nice.
And
Beautiful.
he was first just talking like so many sannyasis. But then he started to play with very long Radhe. And then it was like an agape or a prema tsunami, which was rolling from the stage. So the singing is very
Great, you are fortunate.
great.
You received some glimpse of that experience.
The sound vibration of the singing. Because when they're singing, everybody's brain patterns are synchronized to the singing, music.
Different vibration, some subtle vibration is there, higher Sankirtana, divine vibration of Sankirtana mood. So back to the point. When Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Swami Prabhupada were absorbed, overwhelmed, simply overwhelmed with such discussion in Bengali. Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam then dadami buddhi yogam tam yeno mam upajanti te. Krishna finally blesses him, rewards that devotee with the highest kind of intelligence and experience, consciousness, so that he can be connecting with me, he can be deeply connected, intimately connected with me through Braja Bhav, through Upagata Parokya mood of the Braja Prem. Naturally, so they are relishing with so much joy, exchanging with each other, sharing so much joy, ecstasy between each other, and that was reflecting on their face. The conversations, the Guru Maharaj, Swami Prabhupada. And we are understanding we were Bengali devotees, but some other Prabhupada's disciples, Swami Prabhupada's disciples, just Western European disciples, they could not understand anything. But they could feel into the bhava, into their common sense, that something going on wonderful. Two exalted God brothers, they are looking so happy. They are exhibiting so much happiness, most wonderful happiness we never saw before. Never saw this before, that they could be so happy, so joyful. What is happening? See the happiness, great happiness, reflecting in their face, like an aura coming, mystical. Sometimes when we become so happy, divinely ecstatic, some subtle halo comes, divine aura comes, very fine. It has to be felt. cannot always be seen through material eyes, but it has to be seen through feelings, some subtle aura, and that was reflecting, brightening their face. Their face was bright, effulgent, brightened. They were wondering what is happening. And they could not have patience. Some of them, they were out of patience. Because they could not understand what these two God brothers were discussing. Such beautiful, wonderful topics. Then one of them just asked, Srila Prabhupada, what are you discussing with Sridhar Maharaj? What are you discussing with Srila Maharaj? You are so joyful. Can you tell us? He turned around. With loving, great voice said, you will faint if I tell you. You will faint if I tell you. Then again, flowed with Guru Maharaj. And they were wondering, oh, will we faint if we hear this topic? I think it is recorded. You can even hear through the recording. So see. Then there another verse is there, if the time permits. I know it's high time. Tesam evanukampartham. Again, both the God brothers spent a good amount of time again discussing, esoterically discussing about the esoteric meaning of that third verse. Tesam evanukampartham mahamagyanajam tama nashayam matmabhavasthu jnanadipena bhashyata. A great question arose. So Guru Maharaj arising the question and answering also both. Then why? The next verse Krishna is talking about Tesam evanu kampartham aham agyanajam tama. Now, why the question of agyanatama? Some kind of sadness or misery, suffering from due to ignorance coming after that state. He said, what is that? What is the real meaning? After the attainment of such high level of devotion, such higher qualification, how this can come again? Krishna has to destroy their mode of ignorance. Krishna has to be protecting them, destroying their suffering from the mode of ignorance and protecting them. How can it be befitting? Then they were answering. See, you have to understand the meanings of this verse contextually, by the context. So, after the attainment of that highest devotion to Krishna, then what Krishna means by what he contextually means, Tesam evanukampartham aham agyanajam tama nasham atmabhavastu jnanadipena bhashyata. After the attainment of that super excellent level of my devotion, then loving devotion, then what happens? At some point, stage of feelings of separation from me appears, vipralambha dasha. So, and those devotees do not know how to pass through that extremely painful love feelings and love experience of Krishna. In other words, experiencing extremely painful love of Krishna in separation. So then they begin to suffer because of their so much limitless love, endless love for me. When they go through the experience of separation from me, they suffer from acute pain of love separation. They start suffering, I repeat, they start suffering from acute pain of separation from me. It is considered Vipralambha Prema Dasha, the stage of Vipralambha. Union through acute pain of separation from Krishna. Union through union, Union through acute love pain of Krishna through separation. Vipralambha. So at that stage, those devotees start having misery. They become so miserable. They start so much suffering. And they become, sometimes their mind becomes bewildered by extreme acute pain of separation from me. They cannot take it anymore. The mind gets transcendentally bewildered. They feel so helpless, hopeless. They don't know how to face, how to go through this extremely painful realization, how to go through this, how to pass through this, extreme, painful separation from Krishna. It's love pain. Then when their mind becomes bewildered, they lose their normal sensitivity, normal ways of the life. They simply lose. They lose all their charm and all the necessities of living their normal social life. As if they become so overwhelmed with the acute pain of separation from me in Vipralambha Prema Dasha. They start suffering greatly, as if they are sinking in darkness of the pain of separation from Krishna, helpless, no help. At that time, I approach them. I go by their side with my loving hands, with my loving grace. I take care of them, protect them, take care of them, soothe them. I try to soothe their pain caused by extreme pain caused by my separation. And that's why I protect them and I destroy all their sufferings and bring back to the light of my love divine, feelings of love, take them, removing all the feelings of my separation from their life, and make them again fulfill that I am there. I appear before them, and as soon as they become united with me, then all their feelings of separation, extreme painful feelings of separation goes away. They feel protected and soothed, taken care of by me, being united with me again. So that is the inner meaning. Tesam kampartham maham agyanajam tamo. What is agyanaja tamo? It's not ordinary type of agyana tamo. It's like Gyanashunna, above Gyanashunna bhakti level. Gyanashunna level, when you say the level, highest Mahaprabhu said, Eho ha in Rai Ramananda Samvad. Gyanashunna level. Right? Although it literally means, that level is devoid of Gyanam. It's not devoid of Gyanam. It is filled with transcendental knowledge, but it is beyond the limited material knowledge. So Gyanashunna, the level of Gyanashunna bhakti, although apparently means devoid of knowledge. True, like Nirguna. Beyond three gunas. Beyond three gunas, Nirguna. The way sometimes we say invaluable. Invaluable doesn't necessarily mean valueless. Invaluable means beyond the estimated value. Invaluable means no value can be compared with that. So invaluable, we say. There are ways of expression. Invaluable. Priceless means not without price or cheap class. Priceless means we cannot even give. It is so See, it is so price worthy, it is so much worthy with such unlimited price, we cannot even pay for that. So priceless. So valuable, beyond all estimations, beyond all limits, we cannot pay that value, so invaluable. Similar way, here, so in a Gyanashunya means beyond all the limited knowledge. But that level is full of divine consciousness, unlimited awareness. But devotional consciousness, devotional wisdom, not material wisdom. Gyanashunya means beyond this level, beyond the level of the mundane knowledge, mundane wisdom. What is that? It's filled with transcendental wisdom. The wisdom, the awareness, the consciousness, experience, which is filled with ecstatic love of Krishna Radhika. That is Gyanashunya level. Okay. So not that, on that level, they do not have the lights of knowledge. They do not have the wisdom. Then it will be totally wrongly understood meaning, misled, totally misunderstood, just opposite way. Okay. There all the knowledge, consciousness is controlled by prema, consciousness of the Krishna prema. All are subservient to the Krishna prema. In that sense, he said Gyanashunya. Prema purna kintu Gyanashunya. Gyano cannot be ruling. The knowledge, power of knowledge cannot be ruling on that plane. Everything is ruled by, controlled by, lovingly controlled by the power, infinite power of ecstatic love of Krishna, Krishna prema. So all the karma, in service activities, all the jnanam, all are subservient there. Okay? Under Krishna prema. So that's why in that sense, Gyanashunya level. So back to the point. So, Tesham evanu kampartham aham ajnanajam. What is this ajnanajam on such highest level? Much higher than Gyanashunya level being described. It has been poetically described. Guru Maharaj was explaining, it has to be understood contextually. By the context, we have to understand the meaning. Here, ajnana means that temporary bewilderment due to excessive, acute pain, overwhelming pain of separation from Krishna. Overwhelmingly, how to say? Yes. Overwhelmingly acute love pain. Okay. Suffering, unlimited suffering being experienced due to separation from Krishna. So, ajnana means that kind of bewilderment. It's poetically said. Like sometimes we see, 10 lakhs make 1 million. We again start from 1. Okay? Then how many millions make a billion? Tell me, how many millions? 1,000 millions.
I never had so much money.
1,000 millions make 1 billion. See, why I am giving such example? That again is coming back to 1. Okay? 100,000 make 1 lakh. So we can say 200,000, 300,000, so say 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh. So coming back to 1. Then again 10 lakhs make 1 million. Again coming back to 1. Here also, here, again on that platform, on that, contextually on that very highest level, here the term ajnana means, ajnana means no simple ignorance. Ajnana means they are losing their practical, normal, social sense due to overwhelming suffering of the pain caused by separation from Krishna. Okay? So, it is like losing their normal consciousness. In that sense, in ignorance. or jnana, devoid of consciousness, losing the normal level, normal character of their consciousness due to extreme suffering. Like when we have extreme pain, it gets numb. Sometimes we get paralyzed, we feel numbness. Okay, so that's what Krishna is poetically saying as ajnana.
Which
That
verse are
level.
you now?
What?
Which verse are you now?
The last one of the
Tesam
these
evam
four.
kampartham aham ajnanajam tama. Then Krishna says, then I compassionately offer, upon seeing them in such a helplessly suffering state, bewildered, losing the normal sense, cannot work properly, cannot think properly, cannot work properly, cannot live their life, being overwhelmed with extreme painful suffering due to separation from me. I cannot stay away from them for long. How can I tolerate that? Although I allow them, let them experience that taste, ambrosial taste, through painful love of Krishna, vipralambha prema, yet I cannot take their suffering for so long. I appear. By and by, upon seeing them in helplessly suffering state, okay, they cannot take it anymore. I cannot stay away. I appear before them, get united with them, okay, in blissful love relationship, and thus I soothe, I remove all their pain of separation, all their loss of consciousness state. Almost, they lost all normal consciousness due to extreme suffering, painful suffering due to, caused by my separation. So I remove that, their loss of consciousness state. That is ajnana. It's not ignorance type. It's a loss of consciousness, or jnana, devoid of consciousness, normal consciousness. Of course, in that state they lose all normal consciousness, external consciousness. Like Mahaprabhu, we see, Mahaprabhu often had no external consciousness, lost. Because of diving deep into the inner consciousness, inner divine consciousness, loss of external consciousness happening. So, on that state, those devotees, following in the footsteps of Braja Gopis, have the loss of normal consciousness state. So I appear before them. I appear before them very closely, intimately, embrace them. Embrace them in my shelter. Again, make them feel I have come. Look, see, now I have come before you. I am here before you. I have now come. I am so close to you. You are with me. Now the stage of your separation is over. Now your stage of extremely painful separation from me is now over. I could not stay away from you all. Look, I have come. I am right beside you, with you. So, in this way, by again giving them His own intimate company, being united with, appearing before those devotees and making them feel Krishna's close, loving care for them again, making them feel Krishna's beloved presence, okay, with them. I am with you now, and I am not going away from you. So then they become soothed. Thus Krishna appears and soothes takes away all their sufferings, removes all their sufferings, and Jnana Deepena Bhashata, thereafter simply enlightens them, illuminates them makes them brightened, effulgent, with the ecstasy, with the unlimited bliss of having Krishna again, getting back their beloved Lord again, close to their body, mind and soul, close to their heart. They have attained their beloved Lord again. So, by making, so in other words, so in this way, by appearing before them on that most extremely painful state, helpless state of their life, again by uniting them, by being united with them, making them feel that the beloved Lord came back to them again and they are not going to lose. Then Krishna removes all their sufferings, soothing their mind and heart, everything, and elates them, uplifts them, elates them with the brightness, with the effulgence, on the level of the effulgence of loving devotion, ecstatic loving devotion of Krishna. That is Bhashata. Jnana Deepena Bhashata. With the help of the transcendental knowledge and consciousness of mind that, look, I have come to you, I am beside you, I am here with you, your beloved Lord came back to you, I am embracing you, you are protected by me. See, I have not gone away from you, I am caring for you. See how much I am caring for you, I have come. By making them feel the intimate presence of their beloved Lord again back into their life, Krishna removes all their sufferings, too much sufferings, almost losing consciousness state, Ajnana. And due to they're plunging into darkness because of the pain of separation from Krishna. It is not ordinary type of darkness of ignorance. Sinking in the darkness, with all helplessness, that they cannot live their life anymore with so much extreme pain, experience extreme pain of separation, taking them to darkness. Like losing all happiness of life, losing all desire of living life, plunging into darkness. That is Tama. Krishna is rescuing them again from that state of losing consciousness, from that darkness of extreme helpless pain of suffering due to separation from Him. That is Tama. And then, after saving them, rescuing them from that state, Krishna again makes them brightened, illuminated, effulgent, with the lights, effulgent with the realization of self-effulgent consciousness, awareness that your beloved Lord came back to you. Your beloved Lord is right before you, with you, close to your heart. I have not left you. You are with me, I am eternally with you. In that way, Krishna relieves them, rescues them. That is the meaning. Inner meaning of that line.
Jai. Sadhu, sadhu. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I repeated the same because it's inspired to be repeating and repeating. There's so much taste in that, and sometimes when we repeat it, then we can understand.
It's good to more internalize.
Yes, it gets ingrained and okay, it deeply influences in our consciousness.
Yes, thank you so much.